Hello there, this is Deborah with Aroma Delight Beauty Care Products. And today I'd like to share with you something that I'm doing outside of making soaps and products. Today I'm actually canning and I'm making some vegetable beef stew. And I'd like to show you how I can this. Now I am not a professional, but for the last 11 years or so, I've been canning vegetables and fruits and making jams and jellies. This is a time that if you haven't canned before, you might want to learn, or you might want to put some food away, because these are really some difficult times that we're in right now. So one of the things that I use to can with, I use the Ball canning book. I've had this book. This is the 100th anniversary edition. And I've had this quite a while, and as you can see, the pages, I have really marked up the pages. I've pretty much made everything that's in this book, and I have enjoyed making it. So, like I said, if you haven't ever canned before, and you like to can, there's a lot of videos on YouTube that you can go and see how they do this. Now, I'm just showing you how I do it. Like I said, I'm not a professional, but I do follow directions, instructions. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope if you are interested in canning that this would encourage you to can. And you can can meat. I mean, a lot of people are afraid to can meat. They just make jellies and jams. But you can can almost anything, okay? So with that being said, come on, follow me over into the kitchen. Let me show you what I got going on, okay? Thank you. If you notice, I have some aluminum knobs. They're different from the black original knobs that came with this canner. The knobs broke and some of them cracked. So my husband actually machined me these knobs from the general purpose 6061 aluminum. And for 11 years they have worked awesome. So it turned out really good. Now I don't advise you to alter your canner in any way, but we was able to do that because my husband, he knows his job, so he was able to change them, and they have not cracked, broke, or anything. They have been working perfect. Okay, the vegetable beef stew is now ready. I'm going to be putting it in some hot jars that I already have heating, warming in the oven there. I have my lids and my bands at the right temperature as well. Now this is the top to the canner, and there's, as you can see, there's a little knob, little stick-up knob there. That's where the regulator, the gauge, pressure gauge is going to go on. You always want to look through there, through that little hole there, and make sure that it's not clogged up, because if it is, it's going to cause some problem. If you have the 930 pressure canner or any pressure canner with that little gadget there, you want to make sure you look through it. Now, since I'm doing a steam pressure canning, it only takes 2 to 3 ounces of water. Yes, that's all it's going to take. Basically what I'm doing right now is adding the hot vegetable beef stew into my jars, and I'm going to fill those jars 1 inch from the rim of the jar. So I'm not going to fill it all the way to the tip top. There's a reason for that. And as you start canning, if you decide to can, you will understand what I'm talking about here. I'm adding a little bit of the broth into it as well. It smells awesome. Okay, I've made this many times. I actually used this batch is 10 pounds of stew beet, and what I'm doing right now is basically getting some air bubbles out. You don't want to use anything metal to go around it because you could break the jars. And I have my lids and my bands ready to go. Now I'm only using one hand here, so this is like so I'm having to stop with the camera to tighten the lids up. So I'm just kind of giving you a little rough idea of what I'm doing here. I'm going to be putting it over in the canner. This is really deep. I mean, I'm 5'2", and I'm having to reach up high to get into that canner. I usually try to can something every year. When we lived out in the country, we had 2 gardens. We had a really big garden, and then we had a small garden. And I tried to can a lot of products every year. So I've been canning about 11 years now, and I've truly have enjoyed doing this. It's nothing like canning, putting food away for the winter time. If you've never canned before and you would like to can, you can always find a lot of information on YouTube. There's a lot of professional people that will show you how to can. If you have family members that know how, you might want to go over and help them with, help them so they can show you how to can. Maybe you can cut the vegetables up. I don't know. Maybe you could do something so that they can show you. But either way, maybe they would show you anyway. I mean, my mom, her mother taught her, and on and on and on. Now, I didn't show you me putting them all in. This is the second layer. And it's because I'm having to reach way over into this big canner. So I didn't want to show you watching me strain to get into that big canner there. So I have everything ready to go there. Okay, it has been 24 hours and I have let the jar sit covered up. And so now I'm basically going to take the bands off and to clean them up. One of the ways to check to make sure that they've sealed, you want to press down, and once you press down, if it pops back up, then they're not sealed. I usually go around the side of the lid as well. So that is one way to tell if they're sealed. You want to press down, and if it pops back up, then it didn't get sealed properly. You will have time, if they didn't get sealed, to either put the ones that didn't get sealed in the refrigerator and reprocess them, or if it's not a lot of them, you could just go ahead and cook that. But if it's a lot of them, you want to reprocess them over again. It takes the same concept to reprocess. Thank goodness I haven't ran into that problem with the meats or anything. I did run into that problem with some string beans before and some acorn squash. So I did have to reseal those, reprocess those. But I'm really happy that I haven't had to do that so far with the meat. Now what I'm going to be doing now is basically just going to, first of all, I'm going to go ahead and take the bands off, because that one is too hard to get off. So I'm going to run some hot water over it and take the bands off. I used to leave the bands on when I first started canning. And I found out, for me personally, that when I would take the bands off, that the lids, it hadn't sealed properly. Even with me pressing down, and it felt like it sealed. Either it came loose along the way or something, or maybe I didn't get the jar cleaned up good enough, or the seal wasn't properly done right. I'm not sure. But for me, I don't like that sense of, it seemed like a false sense of security for me. So I just basically take the bands off, and once a week or so, when I get a chance, I just kind of go down into the basement and just kind of tap on them, check them to make sure they're still sealed. Now, the longest I've ever had some canned meat or vegetables or anything like that was about 8 years. Believe it or not, 8 years. I kept a few jars just to see what they would be like after about 8 years, and no problem. It wasn't a problem at all. But I don't recommend you to do that. I'm not quite sure how long to tell you to do that. I'm sure some of the professional canners probably have that answer, or some of the books. I haven't read anything about that at all. But I just know that we try to can in the summer for the winter time. And right now, with things going the way they're going, I like to have some extra things put away. So I will can string beans and make tomato sauce and tomato salsa and ketchup, and I try to can as many things as I can in the summer season so that I can have it available in the winter. So if something happened, or there's a mishap or anything, that we have a little extra food. So that's some of the advantages of canning your own food. Also, you get to know exactly what is going in your food, exactly how it's been processed, with no chemicals or anything like that. So it's a lot of fun to can, and I hope that this inspires you to can, because it's just so helpful. And if you have a garden, like I said before, if you have a garden or the farmer's market, wherever you can get produce from, then it's a good idea to put it away. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and end this video. Thank you so much for watching this video. Have an awesome and a blessed day. Bye now.